Hey, hey, what is up? What's happening? Greetings. What's going on? Are ya? Yes, yes, yes. All right, we are here. The big event, the big evento. We've been talking about this all week. This is how to close more sales without chasing. So, this is going to be a very in depth training. This is going to be more valuable than most of the courses you've ever bought on sales, I assure you. Going to give real world examples, going to give word scripts and scripts, going to give you exactly what to say. And so, drop a one if you're excited. See my man Henry. What's up? What's up? We got Czech Republic in the house. Let's do that. Where are you guys coming in from? Where are you coming in from? Appreciate that, Pam. Cold Minnesota, cold Michigan. Let's see. It's a foggy morning here in Florida. Czech Republic. Hey, Katrina. What's up, Bonnie? Let's see. What do we got? Sweden, Cornwall, Saskatchewan. Now I bet it's cold there. Whoa, Saskatchewan. That's a for real place right there. Colorado, Washington, St. Louis, Kansas. Looks like everyone's cold. The UK, Jersey in the house, Washington State, Philippines, Bakersfield, Austin, Canada, El Dorado, Eastern Shore of Virginia, North Kakalaki. What part of North Carolina? We go up there all the time. Cornwall, Sweden, Kentucky, Kelowna. I bet that's beautiful right now. South Yorkshire, Wisconsin. I bet it's cold. Yeah. San Diego, Alabama, Miami in the house. Winter Haven, Hawaii. What part of Hawaii? You can't just say Hawaii. What part? Punta de Mita, Mexico, Delaware. All right. So most people, we got Australia in the house, California, ATL, Delaware, Colorado, South Africa. It's hot. Okay. All right. One of you is warm. Okay. All right. So it looks like the majority of you, it looks like are on the Facebook feed, but we have some on Instagram and other places. Reno, Gainesville. All right. We got a lot to cover. So we got to stop the chit chat and we got to get to works. Okay. So 3 things to start off. Okay. Number one, I'm going to give you the goods. I'm not going to hold anything back when it comes to prospecting, follow up, objections, and closing. Like I'm gonna go hardcore. I have taught a lot of people how to sell stuff, and I've sold all kinds of stuff. I've sold $100,000 coaching packages. I've sold, and all the way in between. I've sold, I don't know what my smallest one is, but I think I've done some for $500, or whatever. But so every range of coaching. Right now, I'm coaching 12 different teams. Half of them are high ticket. They sell a $6,000 thing. And so I'm gonna no holds barred. I'm gonna give you the goods. This will be better than probably any sales or recruiting course you've ever purchased, and it's free. How about that? Number 2 is I can't do free coaching Friday the way I normally do it today, but I am going to do it. It's going to be on Instagram. I have to get out of the house. We're actually in the process of selling our house, and so we actually have a showing, and so my wife is kicking me out, and so I can't do it my normal way where it's on Zoom. But I am going to do it on Instagram. And so if you want to hop in, 11 a.m. Eastern, Free Coaching Friday will be on my Instagram channel. And that is at Ray Higdon. Now, just so you know, if you follow me on Instagram, I have an Autobot. I have an Autobot that will send you one of my more popular mindset videos for free. And so, a little bribe there. And so if you want, Follow me on Instagram. I typically go live 2 to 3 times a day, but today will be 11 a.m. Eastern. That will be Free Coaching Friday. And then number 3 is I am going at the end, toward the end of this training here, which I expect this will go about 90 minutes. I'm going to share with you something new that we're doing, and it's not for everyone. It's an application kind of process, so you'll get to check it out. For some of you, it's going to be how you get to the next level. For some of you, it's not going to be a fit. All right, so I'm just telling you that up front. But I'm wanting to earn the right to share that with you, and some you'll love it, some it's not the right time for you. And so look for that. And it's something brand new we're doing, and we're pretty excited about it. Okay, fair enough. Good. So I will not be taking a whole lot of questions because I have a lot to get through. Okay, I got a lot to get through. What's up, Don? All right, Eric in the house. Christy, what's happening? Mara, hey. All right, let's do it. And so let's start as you can imagine, this makes sense to start here. We're going to start with reach outs. And I'm going to give you scripts for reach outs. I'm going to tell you why they work. I'm going to tell you the psychology behind them. And I'm going to give you I'm not going to speak in theory. These are all things that we've been teaching people for many years. There's been tweaks along the years, little changes here and there. But, just so you're aware, right? So let me ask this question. So if you've ever seen a training from me, this is always interesting to me. If you've ever seen me train in any way, shape, or form, drop a 1. And if you've never seen me train, drop a 2. Because I always know there's people on here for the very first time. Has to be. I mean, there's just always. Okay. So I imagine I'm going to see a lot of 1s. That's great. I'm very grateful. Thank you. I am positive I'm going to see some 2s. I'm positive. I'm very confident. Okay, there's a 2. There's a 2. Awesome. A couple more 2s. Great. Thanks for joining. So let me give you the quick 39-second deal here. So before I was ever a coach or trainer, I was the number 1 income earner in a direct sales company. I have sold a lot of different things. And I've always been obsessed with words. Okay. I've been obsessed with words. I've been obsessed with psychology. That combination makes me very lethal when it comes to scripts. Now, I just ask that you use the ninja stuff I'm teaching today. Please use it for good, right? You need to believe in your product, service, or opportunity. You could certainly use the things that I'm going to teach today nefariously. You could sell things that you don't believe in. You could sell things that you don't think are worth the investment or aren't not worth the money. And I hope that you don't do that. I hope that you use this to take that product, service, or opportunity that you love and would change the world and would help so many people, and you use the words that I give you today to move that. Okay, that's my hope. I hope let's all pinky swear that we're going to not use this nefariously. We're going to use it for good. We're going to use it to be the light of the world, the city on the hill that can't be hidden, and we're going to go and help other people. Okay, so there you go. There's the disclaimer. Okay, and so anything else to share? I mean, I've coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of 6, 7, and 8-figure earners. I've coached probably a dozen or so leaders that have over 100,000 people in their organization, people that have 300,000, people that have 750,000. So I've worked with a lot of different leaders. I've seen what works. I have never encountered a script or an onboarding process I couldn't improve. So I'm kind of considered a sales performance architect. So I'm brought in by leaders or companies or teams to dissect and do a forensic audit of their scripts, their ads, their funnels, onboarding, everything they're doing around performance. And I've never encountered a process I haven't been able to improve. I remember I spent some time with a small insurance team to just look at their scripts. I spent 40 minutes. I spent 40 minutes with this smaller insurance team. I think there were 8 or 9 of them maybe. And I completely changed their scripts. And the next week they added $40,000 more in revenue. And so I'm very much used to looking at scripts. I'm very much used to knowing what works. And so today is not baloney that's been passed down for decades. It's not me regurgitating what other people have professed to be good. It's what we've seen actually work. So we launched a group, and this is the last bit, and then I promise I'm going to get into the training. We launched a group back in 2017 called Rank Makers. So Rank Makers is where I train you and your team in less than 5 minutes a day, every day, Monday through Friday. I do a less than 5 minute video and I give you an action step and a training. And because of Rank Makers and our tracking, we have helped those in sales, direct sales, network marketing, generate over 300,000 new customers, 71,000 new reps, and achieve 14,000 rank advances. So we know that our stuff works. There is no theory here. We know it works. We know that every single thing that I teach you here today is going to help. It's going to help you close more sales. Cool? That's it. That's the bio. And let's dive in. Let's dive in. Who's ready? Who's ready? All right. So first, I'm gonna break it down by category, because the same scripts that work in prospecting should not be used for marketing. The same scripts that should be used for warm market should not be used for cold market. The same scripts that are used with people that you know should not be used with people you don't know. And so I'm going to break all of these down, and you're going to be able to pick and choose what you actually want to do. And so you may not decide to go after all of these different categories that I'm going to explain to you, but you will have the ability. And we will, if you registered for this, we will send you the replay. I'm not positive how long we're going to leave this replay up, but you're on here live, so way to go. All right, number one, warm market. What's warm market? Now, there's two different as weird as this sounds, there's two different definitions of warm market. Okay, there's the standard, which is friends and family, right? People that know you, you know them. That's a standard definition of warm market. I'm going to give you both versions, though. All right. Now, there's another version of warm market that is it was defined by a gentleman. Well, I learned it from him. I don't know if he learned it from someone or whatever. I can't speak to that. But there's another version of warm market, and that is anyone you share a past occupation with. And that concept, I like giving shout outs to the greats. That concept came from a gentleman named Mark Yarnell. How many are aware of Mark Yarnell? You ever hear that name? He wrote a book called Your First Year in Network Marketing, which I very much like. Most network marketing books I don't like, to be honest, but that one I do like, although he was very anti-gold and silver, which, how you doing? Right? Like silver is at $100 an ounce and gold's at almost 5,000. But anyway, I like gold and silver. I digress. And so he says your warm market is anyone you share a past occupation with. So if you're a nurse, according to him, and rest in peace, he did pass away a few years ago. According to him, if you're a nurse, then your warm market is all nurses. Now, Mark was a paraglider pilot. So what he would do is he would buy lists of paraglider pilots, and he would just call them, and he'd say, and he knew them, right? He knew them inside and out. See, if you share a past occupation with someone, you could very easily argue that you know them better than your friends and family members, okay? You know what drives them, you know what they want, you know what they desire, you know what they're looking for. And so he would call up, he'd buy lists of paraglide pilots, and he'd say, hey, would you like to spend more time in the air? And they're all like, well, yeah. He goes, well, I'm a former paraglider pilot, and I figured out a way to do that. This is how you can make some money from home and spend more time in the air, which I know is what you want. And they'd be like, oh okay, well, how does this work? Tell me more. And so that was kind of his reach out. Okay. And so let's go back to the more standard definition of warm market, friends and family. And I hope, you need, I don't know how you're going to attend this training without a pad and pen. Like you need to do this. And so first, let's talk about warm market. All right. And I'm talking friends and family members. And I'm even going to cover some of the nuances, right? Because there's nuances of warm market. People you haven't talked to in a really long time, people that are skeptical of you because of your past. Like those are different nuances. Okay. And so friends and family, first of all, you need to look at how do they view you? How do they see you? Do they see you as an entrepreneur? Like you're always, talking about making money. You're discussing the latest Shark Tank episode. You subscribe to Forbes and Inc. Or do they not see you in that manner at all? Have you literally never gone to your friends and talked about making money? You need to know which category they see you, because you always want to know your game plan, because you either want to lead with the product or service or the opportunity. You don't ever want to lead with both. Now, I had just recently, I don't know if she's on today, but I coached a client. I did her last call last week, I think. And she had built her business by leading with the opportunity. And she hired a coach, interestingly enough, a coach I actually trained. And that coach told her, you got to lead with product. Got to lead with product. And which I don't agree with, but instructed her to lead with product. So for like the past year, she's been leading with product and she's been miserable. Hasn't been making hardly any sales. Sucks, right? So you do not have to lead with the product. But when it comes to warm market, you want to see them, either they see you as an entrepreneur, someone who talks about making money, or they don't. And if they don't, you should talk about the product or the service. Okay. You want to lead with the product service. Why not both? And here's some people say, oh, I lead with the product. I lead with product. And then I look at their scripts and they're like, hey, I'm doing this new weight loss thing and you can actually make money telling people about it. Well, that's actually leading with both. So you don't want to lead with health and wealth. You don't want to lead with travel and money. You don't want to lead with, right? You don't want to lead with both. Why? Because it's very easy to say no to that pitch and you don't know why they're saying no. Are they saying no to the money? They say no to the product? We don't know. Now you can always roll from one to the other. So I don't care if you lead with opportunity or product, you can always roll to the other. So let's just say, so what are you guys in? Don't give me the company name or links or get crazy, spamming us. But what are y'all in? Makeup, water, weight loss. What you guys in? Travel, real estate. I had an amazing real estate conversation yesterday. Ooh, stay tuned. Ray may be doing some stuff in real estate. I'm super excited about it. Okay, some of you jump in the company name. Got it. Skincare. Okay, travel. Okay, so we'll go with travel, whatever, right? So, hey, I'm part of a VIP I'm part of a VIP. This is what I used to say when I was in travel. I'm part of a VIP invite-only vacation program. I don't know if you travel at all, but it can guaranteed save you money on travel. Is that something you'd be open to learning more about? Okay. Now, if they say no, if they're like, no, I'm good, I'd say, okay, no problem. And I would roll to the opportunity. And I would say, well, do you realize that now I'm not up to date, so I don't know the actual stats, but I would know my stats. Okay. I would say, well, did you know that, travel is a $800 billion industry. And we actually have a way, there's so many people traveling right now that, and we can help them. And so when you have a strong industry like that, you can make a lot of money selling to people who do want to save on travel. Okay, so I rolled from service, which is travel. I rolled from product or service to opportunity, or I could go the other way, right? I could go now. Here's some people say, well, I lead with the opportunity. Do you? Because some people will say, hey, I'm in a health and wellness business, and I make money telling people about improving their health. Guess what? You just led with both. You led with both. And so, you need to like strip it out, right? If you're going to actually lead with money is, hey, I found a way to make extra money on the side using social media. Would you be open to learning more? See, I'm not going to say the category because again, I don't know what they're rejecting. If I say travel and they don't travel, they'll say, no, thanks. Well, now they just rejected it. I can't roll anywhere. Right. And so if I'm truly leading with opportunity, I don't want to say the category. I don't want to say water. I don't want to say health. I don't want to say travel. I don't want to say fill in the blank. I want to truly lead with money. So my first real company that I did, it was a juice company. And I led with opportunity with all of my warm market because my warm market has seen me sell airheads in middle school, right? There's literally a candy rule at my old middle school because of me. I was moving 90 to 100 airheads a day, and they're like, no more. They confiscated my airhead, which I big bag of them, which hey, I was, it was weird. I was like the candy kingpin there. And so I actually compensated someone for airhead to steal it back from the teacher. Okay, sorry. That was different time, different person. And so my warm market has always seen me around making money, talking about money, doing different things around money, teaching money, all that stuff. So it's very normal. It'd be weird for me to reach out about a product. Actually, it'd be much more normal for me to reach out to my warm market that knows me about opportunity. And so in that company, it was a juice company, right? It was purple, rhymed with Roma we. Okay. And so I reached out to my warm market and I said, hey, I got this new project. I'm going to make a bunch of money. Would you like to learn more about it? Let me know. And they're like, yeah, man, if you're doing it, tell me more about it. I said, okay, cool. It's juice. And they're like, it's juice. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what do I do with juice? I'm like, you drink it or you can pour it out on the ground, whatever you want. But I'm going to show you how to make money. We got a system. And da 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 da. So I truly led with opportunity because I didn't reveal the category. I didn't say what it was. So that's what I mean by you got to pick product, service, or opportunity. You can always roll to the other. And there are plenty of people that I led with opportunity, or you could lead with product or service and roll to the opportunity, right? You just need to know your numbers. So if you're in skincare, you need to know what's the skincare industry. What is that? I don't know. Just Google it or ChatGPT, and it'll tell you. And so, warm market is dictated by how they see you. Cold market, which we'll get into, is dictated by what you feel most comfortable with. Your marketing, okay, what you post on social media, that's also dictated by what you feel most comfortable with. I don't have to cater my marketing to how my warm market sees me. I don't have to cater my cold messaging to how my warm market sees me. They don't know me. They don't have my resume. They don't know my Carfax, right? They don't have no idea. And so you go with, in your marketing and cold, you go with, what are you most comfortable with? What do you like to talk about the most? And some of you love the opportunity. Some of you love the product. Don't listen to anyone in your company or anyone ever that says, no, you must lead with this, or this one's going to be better than leading with that one. That's for you. That's for you to decide. But your warm market, you need to just run a little litmus test. How do they see me? Do they see me as a normal person, or do they see me as an entrepreneur? Now, so what would that look like? Okay. And I'm going to give you different varying degrees. Okay. So if you have influence, all right, I'm going to give you a gangster script. All right. I'm going to give you a bunch of gangster scripts. Okay. Is that okay? Someone sheepishly, gangster, right? Like, I'm a little nervous. I'm going to give you some gangster scripts. Okay. They work like crazy. They're psychologically bound. These aren't scripts that sound good. These are scripts that work good. All right. They work well, I guess is the term. Okay. And so if you're in, let's say, and I know you guys, there's real estate people here, there's insurance people here, there's probably car sales people here, there's coaches here that sell coaching. All right. So I'm going to give you one particular category because that's the power of scripts, not giving you some generic one that attempts to fit all angles, but giving you more specific. And so here we go. If you are in direct sales or network marketing and you've never been in one before, okay, you're the newbie, the rookie, you're the person that you've never been in another company. You've always said no your whole life to all of these pitches, and you're in one. Okay, you have the power to go really fast and get a lot of signups if you do it right. Now, the problem is the people teaching you, they don't understand that distinction. And so they're going to teach you generic scripts that, are going to be okay. I'm going to give you a very specific one. So if you're in your first company, and I know most of you probably aren't, I get it. Don't worry, I'll cover you too. But if you're in your first company, you've never done this before, this is the first time you've ever said yes to network marketing. I'm just curious, how many of you are there here? How many, you're in your first company, you've never been in another company, you've always said no your whole life, you're doing sales for the first time in your life? Because if there's no one, then I can just skip. I can just skip the script. Okay, great. So there's people for sure. First time, got it. Michelle, it's your first time. That's cool. I didn't know that. So you go to your friends and family and you say this. You say, hey, I'm doing this thing. I have never done something like this before, ever. I've been approached 1 million times before and I've turned them all down. I've never done something like this before, but I'm excited about this. If you'd like, I'd be happy to share more with you. If you want more information, let me know. Either way, I'm going to run with this thing. I'm super excited. You're pointing out that you've never done something like this before. And the only thing that I wish I could isolate you on is I wish I could isolate you from all the other people who've been in 52 companies that are going to tell you how difficult recruiting is or how difficult sales is. Don't listen to them. I've helped first timers like do really, really, really well before they caught that virus, before they caught, before they like they'll show up to the event and they'll be like, hey, how many did you recruit your first month? Oh, I brought in 25. And everyone's like, what? Huh? Right. And so the person's like, oh, is that weird? Like, what? Like they didn't know that that's abnormal. And then the rest of the crabs pull the crab in the bucket. Right. And so I want you to be vaccinated from that phenomenon, because all the old guard, all the people that have been around for years, they're tattered and torn and, got an eye patch on, and, they're going to try to tell you how hard it is. Okay. Don't listen to them. Just keep doing that. If you're a first timer, that is your deal. Okay. Now let's talk the opposite. What if you have been in 52 companies? And what if you've actually pitched all your friends and family members, all 52 of them? Some of you are out there. I know who you are. I was one of them. I mean, I went to my warm market in a 3-year period. Okay, 3-year period. I went to them with Aztec grain, greeting cards, legal services, travel 3 times, green cleaning products, juice, appetizer diet cookies. What else? I'm sure there's more. And then eventually gold and silver, which, yay, that one was a good one. And so my warm market was super skeptical. Okay. So if you have a skeptical warm market, if your friends and family member say things like, hey, I'll see you later unless I see you first. You get it? You get what I'm okay. So if you have warm market that if you go to them and say, hey, if you hand me a $5 bill, I'll hand you back a 20. They say, no, I'm good. No, thanks. Okay. And so then you don't have a warm market. You have what I call a burnt market. But good news, there's a burnt market script. How's that? I've never seen anyone train this. I came up with this, and let me tell you, I have had, I don't know exactly, but if I had to guess, maybe 50, 60 people that I told them I have a burnt market script, and they're like, you don't know my market. You don't know my burnt market. They're super skeptical. I'm like, no, I know them. I know them well. And so I said, I'm going to give you a script that'll work. And I want you to reach out to 20 people that you know will say no. You would swear on a Bible would say no to you. And they're like, challenge accepted. Okay. Every person I've ever had use this script that was willing to swear, I didn't make them swear, that was willing to swear on a Bible that the 20 people on their list were all going to say no, all got a sale. How you doing? And so here it is, because we need to pinpoint what psychologically is it that they actually are skeptical of, and it's money. They don't believe you in any regards around money. But guess what? People still like to buy cool things. And you can psychologically use this in a very powerful way. So when you go to approach that person for the 53rd time, for the 53rd company, okay, they're going to naturally have contrarian energy. And we can actually use that. So contrarian meaning whatever you're saying to them, they want to just push and do the absolute opposite. Do you know people like that? You're like, hey, if you're going that way, you should, visit that one restaurant. They will purposely go to a different restaurant, right? They'll avoid that movie that you suggest, right? They're just contrarian. And that's okay. You just need to be smarter about how you utilize that energy. And so it is not enough to lead with the product or service. You would think, well, if I just lead with product or service, then and not the money, then no. If they're at the point where they're super skeptical of you, then you actually need to deflect money. You need to deflect it. And so here's the burnt market script. You go to them and you say, hey, I'm doing this project, and I'm telling you that they're going to well up as soon as you say that. You're like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and they're going to well up. They're going to be like, oh, here we go. This guy, oh, this lady, when is she going to stop? When is she going to cut it out? They're going to well up. Their contrarian energy is going to be a very high. And you say, hey, I'm doing this project, and I don't think the business is a fit for you. Now, some of you aren't willing to say that because you're delusional and you think that this person that's skeptical of you is actually going to join your business. They're not. They're not going to join the business. Okay. Let's just go in with that kind of understanding. Okay. If they're skeptical of you, they ain't doing the business. So stop wishing upon a star, stop winging prayer or whatever it is, right? Don't do it. They're skeptical of you. They're not going to do it. So you have to deflect the money. So here's the script. Hey, I'm doing this new project. They're going to well up like, oh, here we go. They'll probably roll their eyes, right? And so, hey, I'm doing this new project, and I don't think the business is a fit for you, but you might like the product, but you might like the service. Now, that is a very different approach than you've ever gone to them with. And so they're going to be intrigued. And they're like, okay, well, what's the product? And so what I would encourage you to do is get them on some kind of presentation, even if it's short. And what I've seen happen over and over and over and over, these people that you would swear on a Bible were definitely going to say no because they've told you no 52 times in the past. They'll watch the video. And a lot of times they'll come back to you because, see, contrarian energy works both ways. So when you say, I don't think it's a fit for you, there's a part of them that wants to prove you wrong. And so some of them will come back to you and say, well, I watched the video, and well, why don't you think this is a fit for me? And you say, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't, I didn't mean to judge or anything. I just didn't, I didn't see you doing that. Well, why not? Why wouldn't I do it? And so you have to pull off that acting. You got to pull off, put on your best Tom Cruise or whatever and say, oh, well, yeah, and I'm telling you, you will at minimum make some sales. Go to 20 people you would swear on a Bible will say no to you. See what happens. You follow this script. Now you have to tame your eagerness. How many people have seen Tommy Boy? You know what I'm talking about? Tommy Boy with Chris Farley. Some of you are like Chris Farley when he's in the restaurant and he's got the role. He's like, I'm trying to get this sale and it's a good sale. And then you get too eager. You blow it. So you can't say, so don't do this. I'm just warning you because there's a reason why you struggle with sales. You get too eager. And so if they say something like, well, I watched the video. It's a really good video. Why don't you think I would do this? Don't do it. I know what you want to do. You want to say, oh man, you'd be so good at it. Oh my God, you'd kill this thing. I would love to work with you. Yeah, there's different packages. This is ground floor, patent pending. We're gonna rule this town. Don't do it. Don't do it. Your eagerness is going to blow it. You got to play it cool, babies, right? You got to be the other side of the pillow. You got to be cool, babies. Come on now. Like, you got to act like you've been there. Don't get too eager. Your eagerness is blowing sales. Okay. All right. So, helpful so far? Good. All right. So we talked about burnt market. We talked about if you've never done something before, what if you're influential? What if you actually have people that respect you, love you, and appreciate you? Really easy. Almost anything's going to work. I remember I was at an event and this guy got up on stage and he goes, I closed the first 60 people that I talked to. And this is what I said. And as soon as I heard this, I'm like, oh no, this is not going to go well. And so you can imagine everyone in the audience was like, oh, 60, 60. Oh, and he's like, I said this. Oh, people, ha ha ha, carpal tunnel. They're popping ibuprofen, right? They're like, oh, the script is magic. Oh, they got all excited, right? People sweating. It wasn't the script. It wasn't the script. It was his influence. No one in the world closes 60 of 60 unless they're going to people that actually respect them. Well, if you go to people that don't respect you, then guess what? You ain't going to get 60 for 60. It's not the script. He could have said anything. Because, hey, I'm doing this thing. I don't know much about it, but, would you like to learn more and stuff? And they go, okay, well, if you're doing it, get me in, big guy. And so you got to understand that. Don't be duped when an influencer, and these influencers, oh my God, they're running rampant. These influencers, my God. Oh, these influencers. Please pray for our influencers. Help them out because they don't have discernment on what works for them because they have 1 million followers and what ain't going to ever work for you ever. Okay. Influencers are often very lazy marketers. So we look at what they're doing like, and it works for them because they just got sheer numbers. If you're not influential, you don't got it. You don't got it. Okay. And by the way, if you have questions, join me at Free Coaching Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. I got too much to cover to get into the weeds, with questions on here. Okay. So if you have influence, almost anything's going to work. Hey, I'm doing this thing. I thought of you. Would you like to learn more about it? It's on making money or weight loss. Whatever. Almost anything will work. Now, some people who have respect, rapport, and influence with their friends and family members never ask them. So, they don't make any sales, right? Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so, reach out to people. Okay. That's one of the 4 P's, right? Pipeline. Okay. So what if you're somewhere in the middle? What if they're not burnt market, right? So you're not walking down the street and people see you and kind of go the other way, right? To avoid you, right? You're not burnt market, but and it's not your first time. And you're also not super influential where they will just buy whatever you say or just hand you their credit card, right? Whatever you got. And so it needs to be, a little more strategic. Okay. And so first, you need to understand position. Now, I don't care how well you know them. Assume they're at position 0. Position 0 means I don't know their desire. Now, you may think you do. You may think, well, they need money. Let me go to that person that needs money. Well, the person that needs money because they haven't made the best choices. So don't assume that someone that that needs money is just gearing to go. They probably aren't. They probably need money because they continue a string of bad choices. They either don't take action, they're lazy or whatever, or they've been hit with some circumstances. And a lot of people can't make decisions from tough circumstances, right? So we're not judging them, but don't you judge them by thinking they have a high desire to join you. And so we want to speak to them at the appropriate position, which is position 0, which is asking them if they're open to learn more. That's position 0. Are you open to learning more? Some of you go to your friends and family members and you say, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's awesome. You would be so good at it. And, hey, can I send you over some information? Or, can I send you my link? Oh my God, don't you ever, 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 don't you ever say, can I send you my link in the first conversation? That is a tragedy. That is, hey, I don't really care what you want, but mama would like to make some money. Can I send you over a way for you to send me money? Not good. Not good at all. Terrible, actually. And so don't do that. Okay. So you want to say, hey, and you can lead with product or opportunity. Hey, I'm doing this thing to lose weight. I'm doing this thing to save on travel. I'm doing this thing to whatever, get creamier skin, glittery hair, whatever, right? And so, would you be open to learning more about, the product or the service? Or I'm doing this thing to make some extra money on the side. Would you be open to taking a look at what it is that we're doing to make extra money? Okay. And so notice I use the word open, not interested, because it's very psychologically easy to say I'm not interested. We're trained, not interested, not interested, not interested, right? That's very easy. It's a little different to say not open. Hey, are you open and taking a look? I'm not open. That feels unsavory. That doesn't feel good, right? Not open, it means I'm narrow-minded. I don't want to be narrow-minded. Make sense? So we use open, not interested. Okay. Are you open to learning more? Are you open to taking a look? And I always like to give it out, and if you're not, no big deal. Now, if you're a hard charger, I can give you a little bit different script for not burnt market, but for a little skeptical market. So when I joined that new company in July of 2009, and I went on to become the number one income earner of it, I knew that my friends and family had seen me in a lot of stuff. And so I came up with a different script, one that isn't the burnt market script, but also isn't the normal script. And this is for a certain personality type. Not everyone can pull this off. So my script to my warm market was I reached out to them, and I knew that I would have some skeptics. I knew, because I'd tried a lot of different things in a very short time window. I mean, I rattled off 10 that I could think of in a 3-year period. 2006, 2009, I was in like 10 things. I mean, probably more than that. I'm forgetting some. And so I knew there'd be some skepticism, but I didn't think they were just totally against like seeing me in Loserville. All right. It was somewhere in between. And so I went to them, and this is for a certain, there's someone on here today that will use this script and absolutely crush it. It's not for everyone though. And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, I'm in this new project. I'm going to do it with or without you. I'd love to do it with you. If you're open to learning more, great. If not, no big deal. I was informing them that I was going to make this happen. And I didn't require them, but it'd be nice if they wanted to come along. But I'm going to do it with or without them. So I'll say it one more time, and you'll have to catch the replay if you're not catching these scripts. Hey, I'm in this new project. I'm going to do it with or without you. I'd love to do it with you. If you're open to it, great. If not, no big deal. And I had plenty of people. I had people say, because again, I told you there were some skeptics. I had a few people say, well, how long are you going to be in this one? And I said, well, you're supposed to say that behind my back, not to my face, but yeah, not a fit for you. Totally cool. Moved on. A lot of those people that made fun of me when they saw me do millions of dollars with that company reached out to me and said, hey, are you hiring? I'm like, man, I remember you. What are you talking about? You talk trash about me. Like I hired you. Right? I didn't say that. I just like, oh, not right now. Oh, I'll let you know though. I'll let you know. Right? So keep going until the people that are skeptical of you ask you if you're hiring. Why not? Why not do that? If you like that idea, hit that like button. Come on. I'm working for likes over here. It's a free event. Come on. And so I'm not going to get into like product pitches because all of you are in different things. So you probably have, your favorite, product pitch. And I feel like we've covered enough warm, right? I mentioned the warm market as far as shared kind of background or shared occupation. Hey, I see that you're a nurse. I was a nurse for 25 years. I wanted more free time, so I found a way to do that by making money from home. Would you be open to take a look at what it is? Right? So just plug in who you're reaching out to and plug in that sort of script. Okay. Now let's transition to, for some dumb reason, a controversial thing, and that is cold market. So your influencers that have told you that cold market, you should never reach out to a stranger. You should not do cold market messaging. I'm here to just tell you, I say this with all respect. They're wimps. They're wimps. Okay, just because someone's an influencer and they don't need to do cold messaging, it makes no damn sense to bash it, because every other industry does cold messaging. I had a friend work for Gartner Group. Guess what he would do? He would cold message businesses and sell $200,000 consulting. My friend Jim, he sold insurance, high-end insurance. He reached out to a petroleum company for 10 years, cold, never got the business. Year 11, he got the business, and it was over $10 million in commissions. So let me give you a couple more stories. All right. Last quarter, last year, I was hired by a wonderful person. Her name's Christy Ord out of Australia. And she said, hey, I've never taught my team cold messaging. I hear that you teach it. I want you to teach me first. And if it works, then I'll have you teach the team. I'm like, okay. Like, I know it works. So sure. So I teach her. She does in 60 days. Now, she's a hustler and she's very good. She's very good at what she does. She reaches out to strangers every day. And in 60 days, she made $100,000 in personal commissions directly associated from that effort. Christina Danielle, you've heard me talk about her. Her interview is on our YouTube channel. She gets into a company, and the influencers had gotten in the heads of the executives, and they forbade, thou art forbidden to do cold market messaging. She said, screw it. That's the way I want to do it. She followed my scripts, became the #1 recruiter in the company. They recognize her on stage, and they're like, how'd you do it, Christine? She goes, I did cold market messaging with Ray's scripts. And they're like, oh, I guess that's okay. I just want to point out, she beat out every influencer that bashed cold messaging. This doesn't mean that I'm like cold messaging is the mecca, that I love it, but all these other knuckleheads bash it when every other insurance, real estate, car, every other industry on planet Earth does cold market messaging, yet the wimp ass influencers tell you not to do it. I'm not saying it's my favorite. Okay, it's not. I prefer attraction marketing. I prefer branding. I love that. I want to generate people coming to me. So don't get me wrong here. But it is a very valid way to make money. And for some of you, it's actually your fastest way. For some of you, it's the easiest way. So we teach it. Now, is that cool? All of that? I'm sorry, influencers, if you're on here, I love you. I'm rooting for you. I wish you would come around and see the nonsense in what you're saying. But I am rooting for you. God bless you. When you do cold market reach out, these are people that do not know you. Stranger danger, right? Or is it danger stranger? I don't know. Stranger. Yeah, stranger danger, right? Ooh, I'm nervous. Who cares? Who cares? If you're not generating leads from your marketing, you need to be prospecting. You need to be prospecting. Now, when you prospect, there's one rule that still applies. Do not reach out with both. Don't say, I help people get healthier and wealthier. That's no good. Don't do it. By the way, that also shouldn't be your tagline, health and wealth. Don't do it. And so you want to reach out with one, right? What is the one? And okay, I will answer this question. Laura is saying Facebook only lets me send out about 4 messages a day. So we did a little experiment. This was pretty fun. We did an experiment a few years ago, and I hired a guy to message people in my Rank Makers group. Okay, so Rank Makers is where I teach you and your team in 5 minutes a day. I give you an action step in a training. It's less than $1 a day, and We've been rocking it for, what year is this? 9 years, right? Yeah, 9 years. And so I said, hey man, there's 9,000 people in the group. I would love for you to message them and tell them about the upcoming event. And so at first he messaged, he could only get to like 10, maybe 15 a day, something like that. And then Facebook would be like, hey, slow down, Buster. And so next day he would try a little bit more, he'd try a little bit more, try a little bit more. Do you know what we got up to? We tracked it. We built the muscle to be sending 250 messages a day on Facebook. But we couldn't do that from day one, right? We had to build the muscle. So like, one day we tried 16 and it worked. And one day we tried 20 and it worked. One day we tried 25 and it worked. And so we built the muscle. It took some time, it took months, but we built the muscle to sending 250 messages a day. And so if you're going to do this on Facebook or pretty much anywhere, you're probably going to have to build the muscle if you haven't been sending very many messages. Okay. And so when you're reaching out to someone that doesn't know you, there are two things, because it's the same two things you're wondering. There are two things that they are wondering. What do you want? And why me? Why are you reaching out to me? Now, the amateurs teach you to build rapport. And building rapport makes a lot of sense if you're at a cocktail party, right? You don't walk up to someone at a cocktail party and be like, hey, I sell shampoo, and let me tell you, you really need some, right? No, we don't. That'd be crazy, right? If you're at a cocktail party or you're at a networking event, you're going to say, hey, how do you know Dave? Or, do you live around here? Or how about them Colts? No. Unfortunately, you would never say that because my Colts absolutely stink. Anyway, and so you're going to build rapport if you're at a cocktail party. Social media is not like a cocktail party, at least messaging. So this is all about discernment, right? This is about knowing the distinction of what words do you say in what situation. So if you're reaching out, just ask yourself, if someone you don't know reaches out to you, what are you wondering? You're wondering, what do they want? Why me? Why are you reaching out to me? That's what you're wondering. So the faster you get to that, the easier this is going to be. Easier it's going to be. And so get to the point. Now I've asked this in a million different events. I've asked it online. Let me ask you all. There's over 200 of you on here. So you tell me, if someone reaches out to you, would you rather them butter your biscuits for 3 or 4 messages, kind of tell you, oh, I love your skin, or oh, I love that hat. Where'd you get it, girl? Oh my God, is that a Bernie doodle? Okay, would you rather them butter your biscuits for 3 or 4 messages, or a while, or whatever that means, or would you rather someone get to the point? Which one would you prefer? Like, some people reach out to me and they'll be like, hi. I'm like, oh no, we ain't talking. No. Hello, how are you? No. Like, I don't know. Are they outside stalking me? Like, hi, hello. Right? Like right? I'm nervous. I'm looking out the window. Are they in the bushes? Right? Hello. And so everyone I've ever asked that to in the history of asking questions, they want people to get to the point. So why don't we? Why do we tiptoe through the tulips? Why do we like, hey, how are you this fine morning? Grand rising. I see you're wearing a sundress today. Like why do we do that? When, if you don't know them, they want to know. They want you to get to the point. Now, they may say no, and that's okay. You'll never have a time where you get 100% of people you reach out to say yes. That's okay. And so get to the point, okay? And so there are, but the part that most people miss, if they even do this, is they miss the part about why them. Why them? And what you cannot say is, I'm reaching out to positive-minded moms. Like, what? What? Huh? What does that mean? Like, what are you just mass messaging all moms? Like, what are you talking about? This is strange. You also, here's a gotcha. You also can't use group. Hey, I see you're in Trixie's Treats for Twins. Yes, you. How dare you? How dare you prospect people in Trixie's Treats for Twins? Oh man, I'm goofy. Aren't I goofy? I'm just goofy, aren't I? And so why? Because there's a thing called group loyalty. So if you're in JoJo's man cave group, right? The person's going to say, how dare you prospect all of JoJo's man cave dudes or Trixie's twins, whatever, right? So there's group loyalty. You don't want to reference a group, okay? But there are three things that you can. So once upon a time, I had this girl, 21 years old. She was in my organization, and I taught her scripts, taught her posture, taught her all that stuff. And so she decided that she was going to reach out to people. This is category. I'm not saying this is my favorite, but it might be. It might be my favorite, actually. So she decided she was going to reach out to people who dropped intelligent comments on guru pages. Let me say that again. She was going to reach out to people who dropped intelligent comments on guru pages. So she followed Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Kiyosaki, Gary Vaynerchuk, and whoever else she followed, but I know those, okay? And she would scan every day. She would scan the comment section, and she wouldn't message the person that says, you suck, right? She didn't message the negative Nelly, Debbie Downer. She didn't message those people. She messaged someone that dropped a comment she resonated with. So she would beep, she would message them, hey, I saw your comment on Tony's post. I so agree with it. Isn't it funny how da-da-da-da-dee? Hey, listen, I see that you're a financial planner. We actually work with financial planners, help them make extra money outside of what they're doing. Would you be open to taking a look at what we're doing? Now, if you pay attention, she actually would double it up. She would tell them two reasons she reached out to them. One, their intelligent comment, which is highly received. Like, yeah, thanks. You know, I thought it was pretty good too. Thank you. Right? So their intelligent comment and their occupation. That's doubling up. That means, oh, she's not just randomly messaging everyone on planet Earth. She's actually, you know, she's dialed in, right? She reached out. Wow, I kind of feel special and honored. And so she started recruiting financial planners and insurance salespeople like crazy. She and in fact, one crazy thing. So that product was gold and silver coins. She brings in this guy. I think his name was Jeff. I'm pretty sure his name was Jeff. Brings in this guy, Jeff. This guy, Mark, joins Jeff. And Mark's first order was $250,000 in gold and silver, just silver. I don't know if he bought gold, but silver. Crazy. All cold message, all strangers. And oh, by the way, that 21-year-old is my wife, right? She's no longer 21, but she was 21 at the time. She became the number one female earner. I was the number one earner, and we rocked it out. It was awesome. It was awesome. And she did that on her own. I didn't give her sales. She is a rock star. Last year, she did $30 million in real estate. I am very fortunate. And so that's one, but there's two others. Actually, I mentioned two: occupation, location, or intelligent comment. Now, you could argue that intelligent comment is the best. Why? Because it shows activity. Because you're going to message some people that just aren't active anymore, right? They don't even post on social media or anything like that, right? And so, but this is the why them. So here's what it looks like. If I'm reaching out to someone and I can't find any other matches other than location, I'll say, hey, I see that you're in Dallas, Texas. Because you're a company representative, most likely. Okay. And now, if you're not, if you just sell coaching or you sell your own product or service or whatever, then you could say I, of course. But if you're a company rep, you could say, hey, I see that you're in Dallas, Texas. We are looking to expand into Dallas, Texas. Would you be open to taking a look at what it is that we're doing to make extra money? Now, obviously, if you have a product pitch, you could insert product pitch here. I'm not going to, if I do one product pitch, you guys are all going to ask me for that. We don't have that kind of time. Okay. And so, or I could do occupation, which I gave you one example already. I could say, hey, I see that you're a realtor. Because the company, you may not have any realtors in your team. You may not have anyone in Dallas in your team, but the company does, or at least the company wants to. Okay. And so, hey, I see that you're a realtor. We actually work with realtors to help them make extra money on the side. Doesn't interfere with what you're currently doing. Would you be open to learning more about what it is that we're doing to help you guys make some extra money? Is this helpful? Now, here's a big rule. Big rule. Some of you will disregard this and you'll pay the price. Here's the big rule. I would not send any of these scripts to an existing network marketer. The existing network marketer is the most critical. They're typically cynical, skeptical. They will put you on blast. Now, you could go and build $1 million business, but you send that script to the network marketer who's never made a dime. They're going to screenshot it. They're going to say, look at this bozo. Should have built rapport with me first. They don't even pronounce it right. They say report, right? Not rapport. They're going to put you on blast. They're going to screenshot it. Look at this idiot. They haven't made a dime in their whole life somehow, but they're going to put you on blast. And so I would do a little bit of research, right? So I would look at their profile. Are they in network marketing? Let's talk to the billions of people who aren't, if that's your industry, if that's what you're selling. Fair? Yeah, fair. Okay, so what else with cold market? Let's get into follow-up. I'm looking at the time and I'm nervous. Follow-up. So when it comes to position, okay, this is important for follow-up. So position is not where you are, because hopefully you love the company, the product, the service. You got, their company name tattooed in Old English across your back, right? You got, ask me about my company, right? Like you love your company. It's not your position, the position of the prospect. And if we have no data, no evidence, no level of desire understood, we don't know anything, then they're at position 0. And there's only one way for the person at position 0, and that is, are you open to learning more? Okay. And one thing to change your life, just know that, whatever words you speak, you are creating. Jurisdiction is the law of words. And so when you say I'm terrible at follow-up, Jenny, you cannot you can't have a different experience. And there's a great video that covers this nicely. And that's the Hermosi interview with Tony Robbins. If you haven't seen it, definitely worth watching. I've never seen Alex be vulnerable like that. Awesome. I sent him a text. I'm like, dude, way to show up, man. And he was, he's super busy, and he was nice enough to send me a thank you. Highly recommend watching it. It's fantastic. But he talks about the power of your words. So each of you have words that have experiences associated with it and emotions associated with it. And so you just want to be very, very careful. Okay. You want to be very, very careful. Okay. Thanks, Lynn. Let's show that real quick. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate you. All right. So here's one of the rules of position. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. That is how I recruited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that hated the presentation. I didn't care if they liked the presentation. That wasn't a requirement. I liked that if they watched the presentation. If they watched the presentation, Ray has a high close, because it shows me they're looking for something. Okay. We're not ready for that yet. I'm very nervous about the time now. I went so long on reach outs. Okay. All right. Breathe. All right. So if I'm reaching out to cold message, okay, and I'm we don't know each other, I'm reaching out to cold and they don't respond. Well, in the absence of progress, fall back on position. It's position 0. I don't care. I am freeing you. You are now freed. Freedom. I'm freeing you from you having to try to follow up with all these cold messages that did not ever respond to you. Stop. Don't worry about it. Plenty of fish in the sea. Don't worry. If they never respond, they remained at position 0. Don't worry about it. Now, if they respond, if we got a live one, right? If we got a mouth breather, right? If they respond, even if it's negative, right? I mean, not too negative. I mean, if they're like, F you, buddy, then I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. You kiss your mama with that mouth, right? Like they're off my list, right? I'm going to disqualify them. But if they respond even negatively, so if they say, no, not interested, no thanks, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something no influencer has ever taught you, but it's going to make you some sales. This little trick right here probably made me tens of thousands, probably not hundreds, but tens of thousands of dollars. Does anyone want that? Does anyone want to know how to do that? We don't got time. No, I'm just kidding. No. All right. So if I reach out cold message and they respond even negatively, do you know what I do? I do something very strange. I build rapport. Why? Because they know what I'm after. They rejected me, and building rapport is the last thing they think you're going to do. So it stands out. See, I like to do the things that people aren't expecting. And I would say, oh, cool, no problem. Hey, how'd you get into real estate, by the way? You know, how do I know if I run into someone who'd be a great client for you? Oh, God, so good. No one's teaching you this, man. Oh, this is just straight money. Oh, woo. Hit that like button if that one was helpful. All right. And so, but if they don't respond, I'm out. It's fine. There's billions of them. Don't worry about it. Okay. So if they respond negatively, then I'm gonna build rapport. I'm gonna build rapport. And so many times I would build rapport, ask them questions, different things. Okay. And then at some point they're like, hey, you know, a long time ago you reached out to me about some kind of opportunity or something. Like what was that? I'm sorry, I didn't know you back then, but man, you know, I just really appreciate. I've been watching your posts. You know, what is it? So many times. But see, I won't say most, but a lot of people, if someone responds negatively, they're like, well, you can go to heck, Buster Brown, right? They do some kind of negative nonsense. Like, that doesn't get you any sales. What are you doing? You're wasting energy there. Silly. Okay. And so the only two times build rapport after they've said no, or if you're at a cocktail party or networking thing, right? Got to build rapport. Okay. And so let's say that they respond positively. Okay, I'd be open. What is it? Now, if you're leading with the product, this may not be necessary, but if you're leading with opportunity, it's necessary. I'm going to say, well, hey, I have a video that does a better job than I could do of explaining it. Can I, do you mind? Can I send that over to you? It'll do a better job. It'll see if it's a fit for you or not. Some of you, the mistake that you make is you'll reach out to someone. They'll say, oh, okay, well, tell me more. And you'll just assume, and you'll say, here's the video, watch it. Watch it already, right? Well, they didn't say, send me a video. They said, tell me more. So you have to actually ask permission. You have to ask permission. Hey, I got a video, does a better job than I could do of explaining it. Can I send that over to you? Right? So don't just assume that they're just ready for your video. Don't do that. You're missing a step there. Okay. And there's totally different scripts, by the way, if you're running ads and how to respond. We absolutely do not have time for that. Okay. Now, let's say at some point, someone who's responded at least once, but starts ghosting you. Anyone ever experienced that? Drop a G. Let's see how many people have been ghosted, right? How many people have been ghosted? Drop a G. Okay. So this is someone, not that never responded, but they responded at least once. And then in some point in time, they ghosted you, right? They just stopped responding. Okay. So when people, I have to say this over and over again, when people who've responded at least once, they got to respond at least once. When people that respond at least once, but then they go into ghosting, I initiate the 3-step follow-up. This is going to knock out so many issues for you with follow-up. Okay. Now, this is all about posture. Some of you have been on private trainings and heard me talk about posture. It is the number one difference between those who close a lot of sales and those who don't. It's the number one difference. The person with posture closes more sales all the time, every time. Okay. And so 3-step follow-up. So if they all of a sudden ghost me, I'm going to say, hey, is this something you're still looking at? Is this something you still want more information on? Let me know. It's going to be something innocent like that, which they're not going to respond to. The second one is going to be the next day. And I'm going to say, hey, haven't heard from you. Would you like me to just mark you off the list? Is this something you're just not interested in? Okay, it's going to be something like that. You'll get maybe 5% people respond. I'm actually wanting to blow through these to get to the third, because the third is the one that everyone responds to. Not everyone, but 60, 80%. So they're going to see that 5% will respond, 95% won't. The next message, which could be 1 or 2 days later, hey, I'm going to mark you off the list, but I wish you the very best. That's it. And I know you want to add something. I know you, right? But if you ever change your mind, if you ever decide you want to buy, I know you want to add crap to it. And you will absolutely remove its effectiveness. Hey, I'm going to mark you off the list, but I wish you the very best. That is the one that 6 to 8 people out of 10 are going to respond to. And I know you don't want to send it. You're like, I don't want to tell her. Oh man, I'm nervous. I'm going to take you off the list, but I wish you the best. But if you wanted the best, you would join. It's ground floor. It's patent pending. I know you want an eager beaver. I know it. I know you're scratching your neck like, oh man. It was like, I forget the Dave Chappelle character, right? Hey man, you got any of them sales, right? Like, I know you're addicted to them saying yes. And that's why you're not getting yeses. Stop it. When you're willing to, how many have seen Napoleon Dynamite, right? Break the wrist, walk away, right? When you're willing to break the wrist, walk away, right? That's when you're intriguing. That's when you stand out. That's we're like, dang it, maybe I'm missing out. FOMO is a real thing. Do not say, I'm going to mark you off the list, wish you the very best. But right now we have a BOGO. It's BOGO. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is the one that they're going to respond to. I'm telling you, trust me. Every training I do, someone tells me, hey, Ray, I used that thing. I didn't want to do it, but man, it worked. I'm like, yeah, I know. It works. Telling you. All right. All right. Before we get to closing, I'm going to go through something because I'm looking at the time. I've gone a little bit too long. Has this been helpful so far? All right. Before we get to closing, we talked about follow-up, talked about reach out. I spent too much time on that. I gave you too many categories, but I think we covered everything. And so I want to share something with you that we're doing. It's something brand new. This will take a few minutes. And for some of you, this is going to be perfect. For others, it's not your time yet, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up either way. And so let me just share something with you, and then we'll get into closing. Okay. All right. So we're going to share that. All right. So who wants to take their team leadership to the next level in 2026? And I am going to go fast because you will know if this is a fit for you or not. Okay. And then we'll get into closing. I'm going to share a few things there. And so I just want to share, this thing we're doing. It's brand new. We've never offered it before, but I'm very excited about it because I think it's what's needed in the market. And you're one of two types of people. Either I need to make money, and you're not thinking long term. And that's, I get it. I tried to help you with that today. Or you're the person that, wants to make money, of course, but you want to create something that's going to last, and you're thinking more long term. And so that's, which of those categories you're in. I've never seen anyone do anything like this, so we're pretty excited. And it's called the Sales Leadership Mastermind: How to Become the Leader you should be without burning yourself out or carrying the team. I mean, you think that sounds good? Does that sound appealing? Am I in the right room? Okay. Know that it's not for everyone. We want to, we only want to work with leaders who believe this will generally work. And, I'm not going to read all of this, but I have a lot of testimonials. I've worked with, Samara. She's an amazing story, by the way. 13 years as a waitress, was let go during the pandemic. Started working with her in 2024. She had her first $1 million year last year. She's amazing, right? And I'm not responsible, by the way, for her $1 million. I helped her tweak some things, helped some of her people rank advance, and she's a rock star. Like she's amazing. And so the Sales Leadership Mastermind, it consists of 6 monthly focused trainings, which I'll break down for you, 6 live mentoring sessions where you get to ask me anything you want. And so that's me and a intimate group. Only for the leaders selected. There is an application process. This is a retail value of $6,000, and that's real. We have sold masterminds for much more than that. But we see this is a 6-month mastermind. We see that as a very, very fair investment. Another one, Carly, another rock star, another 7-figure earner that I've worked with, and worked with her and her team. We're not going to get into that. Let me see. Okay. And so month 1, we're going to get into leadership reset and diagnostic. Now, some of you are going to come in and not have a big team or any team at all. This is laying the groundwork. This is tilling the ground so that you can have that team that you've been dreaming of. And so how to stop leading from habit, why your team depends on you, how to change it. So you're going to identify where performance lives, breaking unconscious over-involvement, moving from hero to architect. Really, really cool. The mentoring session, get into leaders identifying your primary drain. We're going to eliminate that. Whatever is most draining to you and your business and your team, we're going to help you with that. Clarify what you must first stop doing, and it will create, the first month is going to create some immediate relief. Month 1 is going to identify and eliminate any sabotage. And that first month, I believe, will be worth the entire investment of the mastermind. Month number 2, systems that remove dependency, because structure beats effort. How to design sales teams that don't need you. And I know some of us come into this with a need of validation and things like that. But that hurts your scaling. You will limit how big you grow if you need people to need you. We want to design systems, not our own effort. We want freedom. Okay. So where systems replace meetings, how clarity reduces questions, creating predictable execution, mentoring around taking a look at your actual systems, simplify, not add. This is where you'll realize, no wonder I'm exhausted, right? Month 3, boundaries and standards. This is so huge. Leadership, self-respect, and honestly, team self-respect too. So how to enforce standards without guilt or drama. I have seen so many leaders throw away their career because they couldn't do this one thing. They get burnout, they get exhausted, they have 1 to 2 troublemakers in their team that they just don't know how to handle, and they say, screw it. And they end up leaving something that would have been a legacy for their family. And so we'll talk about, and admit boundaries can feel scary, but how to hold the line calmly, how to remove entitlement without conflict, although there will be some conflict probably. Mentoring, we'll have boundary conversations. We'll actually look at what are your people saying to you where they're trying to guilt and shame you and be a taker, and what to say. We'll give you some language coaching and help you out with that and real-time scenarios. Very high value month, no question. Month number 4, equipping your people to win. So how to, prepare teams don't panic, what your team must know to perform without you. So I'm in this session, I'm going to teach you what your team should know. What do they need to know? So it's going to be extension of what we talked about here today so far. So what to say, objection handling, energy posture, why poorly equipped reps drain leaders. Mentoring is on script refinement for your particular company and team, conversation reviews, and where leaders are rescuing. This is directly going to impact your close rates for yourself and, of course, for your team. Month number 5, leading performance without pressure. Calm leadership creates strong teams. How to drive results without emotional labor. Separating emotion from execution, leading through standards, replacing pressure with clarity. And the mentoring is how to handle demanding reps, reducing emotional load, team dynamics coaching. And you're going to feel lighter. That's just how it works. And then the final month, the free and scaled leader. How many like the idea of that? So this is who you actually become, scaling results without scaling yourself. You don't have to be out of balance with your family to have a thriving team in momentum. Identity shift, sustainable leadership rhythms, protecting what we built, go over a long-term leadership plan, what to keep, remove, reinforce, and a graduation kind of mindset. And this locks everything in. And so, the 6 sessions, the 6 mentoring session, again, retail value of $6,000. You may have guessed this next part. What if I made it a little sweeter? And so this is an application process. We are not, you cannot buy this today. No one is buying this today. All right, just so you're aware. But I want to make it sweeter for this, for whoever this is the right fit for. And so, big bonus if you get just your deposit in today and you're accepted, right? You got to fill out an application. We're going to look it over. You'll also get one-on-one mentoring session with me. I've charged all kinds of different amounts. The average is right around $1,500, and so that's a bonus that we're throwing in today. Just if you do the $500 deposit, so that's a retail value of $74.97. But I'm going to give you one more bonus for people that see this and say, hey, wait a minute, I think I want this. If you get your deposit in today and you're accepted, you can add a spouse or business partner at no additional cost. Now, when to choose? Okay, so that's a $6,000 value right there. So when to choose? If you wish your spouse was involved in the business, but they're not, I wouldn't use this on them. I would pick someone in my team who's serious. And we had a couple insiders that we shared this with, and we already have one that they just split the cost, right? They just split the cost. One paid half, the other paid half, and they're excited. And so just to cover everything, the 6 sessions, the 6 mentoring, the 2 bonuses, that is almost $14,000 in value. But I want to make it a very no-brainer investment for you. Okay. And again, this isn't for everyone. We know that not everyone is after big teams. I need money right now. You're stressed out. I get it. So the 6 sessions, the 6 mentoring sessions, the bonus, the one-on-one, the mega bonus, and it's not $13,497. We're actually going to do all of that for less than $3,000. We believe that is a very nice investment. I don't think you can possibly be in the mastermind and get this information, get the mentoring, and not make that investment back by a lot. Some of you that are already making money, you're just going to multiply your freedom and multiply your sales as well. And so if you would like to apply, and it is an application, please, if we decide not to accept you, please do not be mad at us. We will refund the deposit. I'm not looking to keep people's deposit. We'll refund your deposit. And I'll also give you a suggestion, right? Because maybe there's some other program or course or book or some kind of suggestion. Please, we do give you a lot of questions to answer. Answer honestly, right? Because you want to know if this is a fit for you or not. And so how to apply? Go to hignengroup.com/deposit. It's a $500 refundable deposit. I'll review your application if we feel it's the right fit. If we don't feel it's the right fit, we'll return that to you. I'm not keeping a restocking fee or something crazy. We'll give you all $500 back. If you're accepted, we ask that you pay the balance, which would be $24.97, whether you're splitting it between the two of you, which we can accommodate, or you're paying yourself, right? Another one, Marina, she's amazing. I really dig Marina, but she talks about just me working with her team and working at I did just some different trainings for her and her community, and she's another rock star. And so if all this did was free you of your sabotage, put all of your systems in place and get your team rocking, would it be worth, it's kind of a silly question. Of course it would be. Of course it would be. And so here's what to do next. If this is resonating, if it's not, no judgment, totally cool. I hope you got major value from what I covered already. But if it resonates, hignengroup.com/deposit, get that $500 in, answer the application. We will get back to you by Monday, because I want to go through these myself. I will be looking at your applications and reaching out to you. I may not be the one reaching out to you, but I'm going to review the applications, and I'm going to be you can blame me if you don't get picked. I will be looking at the applications. Okay. And so again, the 6 monthly trainings, the 6 mentoring sessions, the one-on-one, the add a spouse or partner, and the $3,000. Okay. And so there you go. And let me look at the time here. Okay. We got a few minutes left. Okay. So hignengroup.com/deposit. Let me end this and stop my share. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let me put up that banner in case you missed it. There you go. And if you have any questions, I don't have time to go over questions about the mastermind necessarily, but you can on Free Coaching Friday. If you want to follow me on Instagram at Ray Higdon, I'm doing Free Coaching Friday here in 35 minutes. Okay. Let's get to closing. And I'm miraculously going to attempt to give you as much as I can in 5 minutes. And then I'll cover some on Free Coaching Friday too. Okay. So, closing. Position, let me go to, because I teased you with, I've recruited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that didn't like the presentation. That probably sounds like sorcery. That probably sounds like magic. That probably sounds like, what, how the hell did you do that? Right. And so it's by managing position. So remember, in the absence of progress, if I can't move forward, I have to fall back on position. Now, if I say, if someone's at position 0, I got nothing to fall back on, I don't respond, right? So if I'm messaging someone cold, they never respond to me, I have no position, then I move on. Not a big deal, right? Bye, right? Gone. And so when I had someone watch the presentation, that's a high position. No one goes around just randomly watching presentations. They're looking for something. So if I would talk to someone and they watch the presentation and I follow up with them and I say, hey, what'd you like best about the presentation? Don't ask them what they think. Terrible. Hey, what did you think? Well, that word think, it leans more toward the negative than the positive. And so most of the times, if you say, what do you think? People will respond with something negative. Like if I say, hey, what'd you think about that politician? We can't really help it. It's by default, unless we really, really liked it, we're going to think about something negative, right? So we don't do that. We say, what did you like best? And so someone watches a presentation and I say, hey, what'd you like about the presentation? They say, I hated it. It was terrible. I want to bleach my eyes. If I had a one-time time machine, I'd go back in time and not kill Hitler. I'd go back to before I watched that video. Okay, I've never gotten that response, but man, that would be a hoot. I would be like, I like you. And so let's say, they hated the video, right? It was terrible, whatever. So step 1 is act surprised. Okay. I don't care if you've had 99 people in a row tell you that the video sucked. Act surprised. Now, what does the amateur do? The amateur will go to their upline and say, I told you the video sucked. I'm out here working my face off. And, the video sucked. Get a new video already. Right? You're going to whine and cry to mommy and say, mommy, create a new video. Don't do that. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? So if they say they didn't like it in any way, shape, or form, you're going to act surprised. Now, when I was on the phone with someone, and if my wife was around, I'd say, babe, they said they didn't like the video. And she knew, right? She knew the cue. And she said, did you send the right video? Yeah, that's what I asked. I'm not sure. Right? And so this isn't going to convert them, by the way, but it's going to have them like, maybe it's not that bad of a video. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. Right? So it's going to have a little bit of confusion. And that's fine if they're in that state. And then I'm going to ask the question. And the question is, what were you hoping to see? What were you hoping to see? And I've never had someone answer that crazy. I've never had someone say, I was hoping to grow my arm back. I was hoping to cure my baldness. I was hoping I could pour it in the backyard and Bitcoin would spew like a fountain. Never heard anything crazy. It was always something we could help with. And so I will cover more in Free Coaching Friday here in about 30 minutes. If that mastermind resonated with you, go visit higdongroup.com/deposit. And if you have questions for me, if you'd like to dig, I'll dig more into closing because I had to cut it short because I got to get out of here. Go on Free Coaching Friday on my Instagram. It's not my normal Free Coaching Friday on Zoom because I have to be out of the house, so I'll be on my phone. But you can follow me on Instagram at Ray Higdon. So helpful. So right now, think in your mind, who would benefit from seeing this and tag them. Tag them. I will tell you, if I see a lot of tags and I see a lot of comments and likes, I'll do more of this stuff. I can free y'all to pieces. I can do all kinds of free stuff. I can talk about marketing. I can talk solely about closing. I can talk about speaking. I can teach you how to speak from stage. I can do all kinds of free stuff. And so tag someone, drop some comments if you got value from this. Yes, I know I showed you something for sale. How dare I? But I hope that the value I gave for free more than overloaded you as far as me offering those who want to take the next step. Because there's always someone that wants to take the next step. And so those of you who do want to, check out higdongroup.com/deposit. All right. Appreciate you so very much. God bless you guys. And I'll see some of you on Free Coaching Friday. Bye, guys.